first system we're going to talk about is the load bearing vest, or LBE, the ACU. The Molle version basic vest is pretty similar, pretty simple. It's got adjustment straps. Remember, the military goes one size fits most. So adjustment straps here to measure it to your back. You want this to hang in the front of you where everything's accessible, but not hanging all the way down by your waist so it bounces when you run. Internally, it does have a cummerbund. When you unzip it, cummerbund's adjustable. It's got a little padding in it. It also has some internal pockets that you can stuff small amounts of things that you don't need to get too readily accessible but want to have, maps, things like that. And then with this, the Molle system will go completely with everything we got here. So the short assortment of pouches we have here is we've got some individual magazine pouches. These can be used for, anything for hiking. Small pouches carry your Kestrel in, your wind meter, food, chem lights, things like that. So here we have, this one is the individual magazine pouch. Still got the guy's name on it. So this will hold one or two. It's got elastic around it, so if you do have two magazines in it, you let it go, it'll still hold one without it rattling out and around. The Velcro model. Also got a 3 magazine pouch. This is an open top pouch. So these hold magazines inside and then they'll snap down inside. These aren't as readily accessible, but they do have the Molle system, so you could do it in any configuration. You could do all magazines in the front. You could do radio pouch. That's another magazine pouch. You could have a radio pouch, an assortment of magazines. Don't forget you have your blowout kit that you'll usually go on the offside back of your non-shooting arm. But for packing, for regular packing, these work really good just to go hiking with. You can carry everything you need. They're comfortable. You can get it on and off very easy. Set it down. One of the things I will say about all of these though is once you get this fit to where you want it, you need to kind of dress up all of this. They've got really good releases on them, but once you get it set to your frame, you want to get rid of all this. I don't recommend cutting them because if you do go into a cold weather scenario, now you're going a little bit heavier weight. If you're out hunting or anything, you want this to go on the outside of everything. So you do want to have that ability to adjust them. But one of the things I like to do is use 100-mile-an-hour tape, rigger's tape, whatever. I use the Gorilla tape's really good. And I will just, once I have them done, I will tear a piece off, strip it down, and then once I get it where I want it, I will roll this inside. It's important to roll these inside because that protects the ends of them. It also keeps it from unrolling. And then I will roll that all the way down to my adjustment, adjust it a little bit so it's tight, and then I will wrap my tape around this. One thing that I like to do is I will put rabbit ear, dog ear, frog ear, whatever you want to call them. I just fold this end over because over time this will kind of melt itself on and it's really hard to pick off. Also in Expeditious in the field, I always carry some of this with me in the field. You can actually get to it and untape it. So works really well. On straps that I may have to adjust, I'll leave a little bit and then I will not do it back to the parent strap. I will just do the outside strap, same thing. I'll wrap it around, got my dog ear. It will dangle a little bit, but it does give you that ability to move your equipment up and down with the buckle. So that's just a hot tip. I like to do that with all my straps. I don't like things hanging off me when I'm out, moving across the field or out in the wilderness. I don't like things bouncing against me. I never know if it's a twig. I like to know exactly what it is. So that's just a hot tip. I really like to do that with almost everything. Occasionally I will on Molle systems, is I will put an X around these on the backside just in case the snap comes in. And I'll use that just for a second set of securing it. But back to the Molle system, to the vest. You want to set this up so you can functionally move. You don't want all your weight on one side. You want to be balanced. You also want to, the reason that this is straps in the back, it does have Molle in the back, so you can attach the waist pack or the fanny pack. This can adjust back here, which works good if that's all you're doing is going out for a day trip. This will also work well just if you just want to wear it independently, but who wants to look like that? So, but with the Molle strip, this does work very good to attach to the rucksack or the 3-day pack, which we'll talk about in a little bit, or the back of this just for, you know, maybe a raincoat, some things that you don't have to get to right away, but you want to have with you, and you don't want to carry things around because you want to be able to use your hands. So this whole system, you just want to be judicious on what you're putting anywhere. You know, you do have Molle all the way up here and all the way up here. If you are hunting, if you're right-handed, you wouldn't want to put anything up here so you can, you know, shoulder your rifle. But you could have stuff up here that's easy to get to, maybe a flashlight, maybe your wind meter, your Kestrel, stuff like that. And then the Molle pouches you would arrange. This is the old M79 grenade pouch, just for one grenade. Not sure why you would carry just one grenade, but it's got a safety back here where the spoon goes in, keeps it all nice and tight. This is one thing that you can use for a lot of different things, ties, you know, little licky chewies, maybe you know, some trail mix or anything, but these work really good out in the field for just general pouch. And you can arrange these, you know, the singles, the doubles, however you want to do them, but just remember, the weight is critical. You want to be balanced. You don't want to be hiking for a long time with all your weight on one side. That whole side of your back is going to be torched by the time you get done. But this is the basic first line LBE or load bearing equipment for the ACU Molle system. We'll get into some of these other pouches we'll actually use as we move on into the other systems, and then we'll get to the end where we look at them all together.